Hello, and happy Thursday. Welcome to Smart Assets, our first show presented by the American Crypto Academy. My name is Ivan, CMO at American Crypto Academy. Welcome, great to have you. Joined by Evan.
Hello, my name's Evan. I'm with Sarson Funds as an analyst, helping study all the different trends in blockchain and trying to figure out what this wild west is going to turn into.
Oh, the Wild West, so much fun. I'm so excited to be hosting the show with you. Looking forward to some great talks and discussions and coverage of what's going on with smart assets, digital collectibles, even NFTs. I'm trying to avoid that word.
Yeah, we do try and avoid it. But hey, that's what they are. That's what we know them as for now. So that's what we're going with.
All right. Well, thank you for those tuning in and joining us. Give you a little bit about what the show is going to cover. Like we just said, we'll deep dive into projects. Some we like, some we don't. Some we're vested, some we're exploring, some are trending or on the tip of every alpha group out there. Evan and myself dab here and there and have done what we can to keep afloat in this community and learn as we go along with everyone else.
That's right.
On that note, a quick note about nothing in this show is financial advice. Anything we do say and share is strictly our opinion and not related to any other group we may be working with. We're just having some fun here and sharing any alpha knowledge we can share, going back to education, empowering everyone with knowledge so that we know what we're doing out there. As Evan just said, it's the Wild West, so you often don't know what you're getting into. So it's always important to do your research. And my puppy's crying for some reason. I don't know what he wants. Evan, how you doing today?
Doing really good, man. Doing really good. It's been a lot of stir in the NFT ecosystem, and it's been interesting to watch. You know, we saw the launch of Bored Ape Yacht Club's Dookie Dash game. That was super interesting. I've been watching gameplay of that. We've had some crazy topsy-turvy stuff going on in the market, so it's been interesting to see how NFTs reflect that.
Well, that's exciting. We're going to jump into dissecting some of those things right now. If you're just tuning in, welcome. Wanted to give you a heads up. We are going to do a giveaway at the end of the show. If you're live with us, stick around, engage, share your thoughts on some of the topics we'll discuss and bring up, and let's get into the show. I'll give you a little brief summary of some of the things we'll touch upon. I'm a big fan. Those of you that may know me out there, as BG Badger, I'm a big fan of Wax, so we'll touch upon what's going on, the latest in the Wax ecosystem. I'll briefly touch upon our friends over at the Bugatti Group. Shout out to the Bugatti Group. They've been doing some really cool stuff as well and continuing to make noise in the Web3 community. We'll let Evan tell us about So. He's a big fan over there, so looking forward to an update on Solana.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I've been keeping in close contact with Solana and the ecosystem overall. I mean, we've seen insane surge of daily active users surpassing Ethereum this week, which is kind of crazy. So that means
Again,
there's
huh?
more. Yeah, they crossed back over. So that means there's more people using Solana on a daily basis than Ethereum, at least at the moment, as of yesterday, as this infographic shares. But it's super exciting to see that, and we've seen the rise of the meme coins. I'm sure everyone that's watching this has heard of Bonk at this point, as well as all the other craziness that's followed. So it's been cool to see the ecosystem kind of flourish through a different path other than the VC thought process that a lot of people had. People thought it was a VC centralized chain, and the community's proven otherwise. So it's been exciting to experience that firsthand.
Yeah, I can't wait for you to dive a little deeper into that as we get further down into the show. You're also going to talk about a couple of different projects today that you like, Smart Society and Rove World.
Yeah, so those are two ones that I see that are in the very affordable range that I think are going to be providing crazy value in 2023. So we'll be diving deeper into that as well.
All right, I'll play a little bit of devil's advocate because I'm not a big fan of. I think is if I think I saw you share on Twitter earlier something about it was that the Smart Sea Society. It looked a little bit of a manga style art, Japanese style art.
No. That was Outcast Academy. We'll talk about that a
Ah,
little bit
different.
later in the show as
Uh,
well. I'll touch on that.
that's the one. That's the one. Okay, because that's the one I wasn't like. I'm like, how unique can you get with when I'm not knocking on that style art. It doesn't do it
It
for me. But
Believe it or not, that was all AI generated. I don't know if you picked that up. That's so that they completely transitioned their art style and they AI generated. So I'll share a little bit more about that and kind of
all right, looking forward
clue you
to it.
guys in onto what we're talking about.
Looking forward to it. All right, now I'll give everyone a quick update on Upland and my experience with Buenos Aires that opened up. I'm a little disappointed with myself, but what are you gonna do? My focus is elsewhere.
Love
But
it.
I think what Evan you were hinting onto is you're gonna share about a little bit later about that project. I guess I kind of uh, uh, jumped the gun a little bit unintentionally, not knowing. But
It's okay.
we've decided to have a segment on our show called "The Latest Drug," and each week we'll dissect and discuss one of the latest drugs that has affected the community and look further into what happened or whatnot. And all so that we can all learn and know what to look for and how to expect. And sometimes you do the best research and you still get pulled the rug from underneath or get scammed out of something. So we all just got to be careful. And that's one of the things American Crypto Academy is doing is try to provide some education while the technology catches up and the developers provide better tools for us so that we can avoid a lot of these.
Amazing.
All right, all right. Anyone out there? Ooh, look, we got some on this. High on my own NFT supply. Crypto Daddy 420, LOL. And who's this? I want to offer promotion for each channel. Oh, we need mods. Who's a moderator? We don't need no promotions. I'm sorry, chatbots. This is don't push your wait. I'm not a mod. I gotta make myself a mod in there. So I can do this from the other account. I'm trying to watch on the side to keep my bandwidth low, but we'll let that pass for now. I have to delete that comment another way. We'll get it. We'll get to it. Let's get into it. I'm gonna touch a little bit on Wax. Those of you not familiar, Wax is a blockchain, proof of stake blockchain that works on various nodes and has various rewards when people stake their wax to validate transactions and support the blockchain. It's quite interesting. One of the topics I'll bring up is that they actually have a security protocol around that that gets monitored and has an official position. But it's quite interesting to watch during this bear market Wax survive and keep pushing and be relevant in the space, even if it's not at the very top of the screen. And I'll share some stats about Wax real quick. If I can figure out how to use this right here real quick. There you go.
There it is.
But so you can't go by one statistic because so many statistics. Yeah, and Evan probably can add to that. But as an analyst, you got to look several different statistics to judge, and then you also it helps being inside of the community so that you know what people are actually up to and how the community is performing. And on that note, like going back to what we can see Blur, but a lot can argue that a lot of these transactions and the volume on Blur is wash sales, unfortunately. So it's hard to rely on just one report. You gotta know what you're talking about. Obviously, OpenSea's very popular, but Atomic Market, main marketplace on Wax, it's keeping its pull at number 16 as in just an overall marketplace ranking with all the big boys staying relevant. I'll touch on a couple of points on why. If we look at a couple of the other statistics, if we look at wait, this is market. I had higher ratings written down. What's going on? 16 based on this is based on volume, but if we base it overall, it's actually two of the Wax marketplaces are up there. Atomic Hub being number 5 and Nifty Blocks being number 13 overall, not based on volume. And that has to do with the amount of money that are into smart contracts, the number of transactions, the number of wallets, in addition to just volume. So here, when I said the statistics for marketplaces, Atomic Hub is right up there as number 4 with Nifty Blocks, one of the other marketplaces on Wax. Actually up to 10. It's increased a little bit since the last time I checked the stats. So with that, I'll just show a little bit. Coin market cap. This is under metaverses. Wax remains relevant. Those of you not familiar, Wax is a very much focused on gaming. It allows seamless transactions without having to pay any gas fees. Their transaction fees are provided by the users themselves. That's how the system is built. And so you don't necessarily pay per transaction. You pay based on the number of transactions you want to make per day. And so you actually stake your Wax on there. And the other resource that's used for transactions is your storage, your actual storage of data of how many assets you own. And so that's how Wax pays for transactions. So this is based on is a metaverse relevance with gaming, and then wait, I had another one. Let me go back here. And was this by capitalization? It's 20th. Wax is 20th overall in capitalization when you look at NFT marketplaces. I can't find it here.
It's still showing that DApp radar previous screen. I don't know if you have to reshare.
Or my system is just slow because of my resources. Forgive me. Oh, wait. Yeah, you're right. My bad. That's what's going to teach me to share the window and not the tab. Here we go.
There it is. Yes, sir.
And this is overall based on market cap, as I was mentioning before that. But another exciting event going on with Wax right now, as I was saying, Wax has a security measurement in place. They have a position called the Office of Inspector General. That is a full-time position that Wax has that oversees all the Wax guilds. Wax guilds are different groups of different pools of staking that provide nodes and validation processes on the blockchain. And so currently, there are 5 candidates running. Our favorite is Mike DeFranco. He's very active in the community. He's also the founder of Wax DAO, which is a DeFi platform on Wax. I invite you to check out. That basically it allows any project to form a DAO sort of governance with a token, and then interact with it. Quite a unique tool. So that's going on Wax currently.
Is there
As
only so
far
there's
as
only one person that gets elected for that?
Yes, so they have votes. I think it's 18 months of a term. They have votes, and one person gets elected into that position. It's a full-time position. They're required to invest upwards of 40 hours per week commitment
Wow.
to execute this. Obviously, um, they get paid for this. It's a paid position, but it's quite the responsibility, and it's just another example of how the centralization and how different blockchains affect their security, their voting, their mechanisms in place.
That's really cool.
In addition to that, I also just wanted to bring up, and those of you not familiar with Wax, most everyone on Wax knows. Yeah, we saw the Trump floor is up 100% for Mint. I was looking at that, I think, yesterday. But Funko Pops, the famous toy and collectible manufacturer, has been on Wax for quite a while. They do very well. In fact, their packs usually upwards of 18,000. They usually have two sets of packs: a small pack, big pack. Each one 18,000. They sell out constantly. They just had another drop on Tuesday. I didn't have time to notice to watch it and see how fast it sells out, but they're nearly instant because of the high demand for Funko. They have a very unique system where it puts you in a queue, so it gives everyone a chance to jump in there and get a pack in a very random way. It throws you in a queue randomly, and so you wait your turn. And sometimes you're higher, sometimes you're lower. Most of the times, often you can miss it, but most of the times you can get in, and it's quite interesting. They have a lot of fun. Wait, let me go here to Funko just to show some of their what their NFTs look like, but it could be quite engaging if you get into the higher rarities where they're animated and cute. But one of the main things that makes this collection attractive is or so demanded is because there's a physical aspect, and I'll touch a little bit on this with another project that I'm talking about. But every release has physical claimables where you can claim the toys that are unique, very limited numbers. And there's collectible there's been collectors out of Funko Pop for a long time, and so now you're getting those with NFTs, and makes it even harder to obtain because it's through this new digital aspect, and it's not mainstream yet, and you can make a lot of different plays with this. Not financial advice, but very interesting. How many users are on Wax? Let me go back here real quick. I think this has wallets.
Yeah, unique active wallets, UAW.
I think I want to say 60. Last figure I saw was 67,000. That sounds like not enough, not a lot, but I know there's upwards of millions of users. Where's those wallets? Oh, this is the last 30 days, and are these active, Evan? You have them on the
Um,
list. UAW.
yeah, UAW I would assume would be daily, but
I'm on 24 hours. So
might
24
be
hours, 14,000 users.
okay. That makes
30
more sense.
days, 67,000 users. Compared to OpenSea, 362,000 users in the last 30 days. Magic Eden cuts that in half, and then it drops from there. But Blur is right behind Atomic Market, and that's just one marketplace. We also have Nifty Blocks. Nifty Blocks got another 18,007, although a lot of these overlap because people use both marketplaces, but that would be the same case for something like OpenSea or Rarible, in my opinion, depending on the blockchain.
Absolutely, I agree.
With that, Funko, another fun collection I'll mention real quick, and then I'll move on with Wax is the Hot Wheels. Everyone knows Hot Wheels. Hot Wheels is also dropping NFTs on Wax. They, similarly like Funko, do have physical claimables as well, and those can go for a lot of money. You buy a pack that yields you a physical claimable. That pack probably is going to cost you $25, $30. That physical claimable is usually resellable for upwards between anywhere between 80 to $120, depending on the claimable, or more in some instances. Not financial advice, but just some of the figures that you can see. And this similarly for Funko or Hot Wheels. So definitely check Wax out if you have not been into it. I know I onboarded Evan a couple of weeks back. We'll see how fast he discovers some of Wax's magic.
I'm excited. I have a little bit of wax. I'm gonna be honest. I haven't bought any NFTs yet, but I definitely need to dip my toe in and start seeing what's going on with these drops.
Real quick, one of the last things I want to mention about Wax that's kind of new, not very new, but in the last, I want to say 2, 3 months, it was rolled out. Is Wax has always been a very carbon neutral blockchain, but as of recently, they've added an option when you buy an NFT, regardless of the collection, and obviously. It rewards the collection. So if you incentivize your members somehow to donate or provide there it is. It reflects on the collection well as well. But so now Wax allows you to whatever NFT you buy, you can add additional wax, whether it's one wax or no, you actually designate how many kilograms of carbon you want to offset with your purchase. And so you add based on kilograms, it adds how much wax it would take. And so when you make that purchase, it reflects both on you as a user and on that collection because you're being a fan of that collection. You chose that collection to offset additional carbon with. And so I thought that was really neat. There's I believe, monthly or quarterly competition based on if how much carbon you offset, where that could also yield you unique collectible NFTs or digital assets. And so just another reason why I'm such a big fan of Wax.
That's incredible. Yeah, I had no idea that they did that. That's the kind of thing that normies need to hear for them to be more okay with what's going on, right? Like that's one of the big issues that people see with crypto right now. Even though it might not necessarily reflect as true as they think, those kind of things are big for PR. So that's awesome.
The floor and Trump.
I did see that. I did see that they are rallying a bit. No pun intended.
Maybe he's adding more utility.
Hey, or they're just people are starting to cash in on utility, so people are starting to realize the value. Who knows?
So maybe.
Yeah,
We'll watch it and see. We'll touch on it
that's right.
again next
That's
week.
right.
All right, Evan, why don't you tell us a little bit about what's going on with Solana?
Yeah, so Solana has, like I said in the intro, Solana has not slowed down whatsoever after the FTX debacle, the issue there with one of the biggest exchanges in America going down and us seeing the craziness that followed. And it stinks because Solana was one of the main supported currencies of FTX. So that gets a negative PR rap. But I think that we're starting to see some resurgence. There is here. Let me see. Can I share my screen? Present. Share screen.
This is funny. Not not a rug, just part of developers' learning process.
That's amazing. Uh, Let me pull this over here.
Yeah, if you click on present and then you can share screen or window or even a specific tab.
There we go. Let's do this. Sorry, I apologize for the technical. I had it all on the wrong screen. I need to be able to share this one.
Oh yeah. It's all right.
So, okay,
First show, we'll figure out the bugs. It's part of the
that's right.
developer's learning process.
That's right. All right, awesome. So this is now my screen. So this is one of the main graphics that I kind of wanted to show, just to give people a little perspective about what we're looking at with daily active users on Solana. So this is reflective of today's this or from yesterday. I guess it's the 19th today. So this reflects how many daily active addresses we have on Solana, 529,000 versus the 470 on Ethereum. And obviously, this is a temporary thing, but it shows strength in the overall ecosystem. People still have faith. And obviously, a lot of us have seen the surge in price. So people are still interested in the chain, and we've seen um, a lot of changes overall. Now these numbers don't reflect entirely. I know Ivan had a more accurate showing of this, but this just kind of shows some of the transaction differences on the different chains. So we saw, 360 million volume on OpenSea with 1.3 million transactions, and we saw a lower side of volume, but many more transactions through Magic Eden. So it's interesting to see, the decisions for some of these smaller projects to go onto chains that are obviously going to fit their mold a little bit better, provide lower transaction fees so that users feel more comfortable buying, in-game assets or whatever it may be that are you might purchase a little bit more often than some of these Ethereum-based NFTs. So I think that's a super interesting statistic that I wanted to share with you guys. We've been seeing like all kinds of activity through Magic Eden. They support a minting launchpad, which is very unique to some of the other NFT platforms. So you can actually submit your mint through their platform, and they can host that for you. So you're not going to have to use any minting launchpad or create your own minting site, which is super unique and awesome. And that is also included in these transactions, which makes it make a little bit more sense because OpenSea doesn't offer anything like that. But it's super interesting to me to see some of these differences between the chains and projects choosing the chain that fits them a little bit more. There was an awesome space that was surrounding Solana DeFi that was a part of yesterday that kind of outlined that on a little bit of more of a big scale, talking about some of the DeFi opportunities that are migrating to Solana or chose Solana in the first place. So I think that's something that I'm also keeping a close eye on as we move into 2023, as we hopefully see crypto find its footing throughout the year. So that's a little update on what I have on Solana. I'll let you dive back in to the Bugatti update that you have
Yeah,
for us.
but before that, like Solana, I'm quite curious about the blockchain mobile phone that they're building.
Yes,
I
good call.
hope it's not an extreme price tag, so that more people can try it out. One, and so that they can learn and they can test the system. And but I bet a lot of the big tech players or the big telecom players are watching that closely with what Helium is doing with them, and Solana building a mobile phone, and I assume they're going to use the Helium network. Um, Everyone
So
else is going to start running for the blockchains if this is successful. So it's going to be quite
it's
interesting. But I'm also excited about the integration it's going to bring with into blockchains and these ecosystems of Web3.
absolutely, and I couldn't agree more with you, Ivan. So I can answer a few of your questions and concerns. I get excited when I start talking about the saga. So they're calling the first edition or the first version of this Solana phone. It's called the Solana Saga. It is being built off of an Android framework, but it's not taking advantage of the Google Play Store at all. And it's also avoiding anything that has to do with the Apple Store, obviously. So they're able to create their own terms of service for these applications, and in many cases, decentralized applications being built for these mobile devices. The price tag is for right now. It's going to be $1,000. I got my pre-order in for mine. Hopefully,
Oh,
they'll be able to.
they
Hopefully,
take
be able.
pre-orders already? Come on,
Oh, they've
I'm
been taking
slow.
pre-orders for a while. Yeah. So, and they've been already getting out. So they've been offering free V1s for all developers and builders on Solana. They've been
Oh.
getting those out, and we've been seeing those hit the hands of the developers over the last couple weeks. And they're going to start the retail distribution of those at the end of Q1. So hopefully, end of February, maybe March, that we're going to be able to start seeing those get into retail hands, and people being able to kind of play with what they have building. So it'll be interesting to see that develop. Now, and the other thing you mentioned is the Helium network. So right now it is going to be like a traditional style phone where you're not going to be able to directly tap in, but we haven't seen that migration from Helium yet. But their goal is to get that seamlessly integrated so people can make that choice for themselves sometime down the line. So that's super cool too.
Hmm. Now I'm reconsidering my Solana. It's too small of a percentage of my overall involvement in the space, and maybe I should venture more in there. The problem is that I, like many, did get burned several times on there by several, almost like, no joke. At one point, sometime last year, there was like 3 or 4 projects that I got into. How did all of them end up being a freaking rug? Like I understand one or
Oh,
two, or like you try to play your numbers, but like how can all of them possibly in a row like that do it? It was just like, so then I'm like, okay, I'll stay away from Solana. I mean, you see that on many blockchains. I guess luck of the draw. It's kind of like playing at a casino and throwing your dice on a collection that you just kind of jump in there. But like there was hype and excitement, the community seemed welcoming, and it was just like, oh, I want to be here. Sure, I want one of your NFTs.
that it's tough because there's tons of that. I mean, one of my favorite projects, we're not going to talk about them much tonight, but Liberty Square, I mean, they were the only project that minted in July that is still around. The
Mm,
whole month, one
mm.
twelfth of the year, they were the only project that is still around. And it's like there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that going on. We see it's a rise and then a fall, and it's just then they're gone. And that probably makes up a lot of those 60 million transactions that we were sharing earlier. It's sad, but yeah, it's good to know that we're starting to filter through some of the BS and we're starting to find things that are actually valuable for community. I'm excited to share a few projects that I think that applies to later.
That's an interesting statistic when we say, oh, this is one of so many that's the only one left, and that reminds me of DSO does that. I've been using a lot of DSO, short for decentralized social, and on their platform, there's 1 or 2 accounts that follow statistics and then report, and it will update you once a quarter or something. And I've had often where, hey, you're the last account that remains that is posting from the group that joined during this block, because DSO is a social, it's a blockchain that is also social media, in its nature, and so like all of that is tracked, and it was quite interesting to see it that way. But then it kind of makes it exciting. I'm one of so many that didn't make it. I'm still here, running strong. Let's go.
Yeah, I love those kind of statistics, and being that's what I think is so awesome and so invigorating about the blockchain is you can go back and you can see when your first transaction was. You can see when you interacted with things and be like, hey, I did that. There's a provable way for me to show that off, and there's nothing like that. It's awesome.
All right, awesome. I did. Let me, before I talk about, why don't you jump in there? We'll skip my Bugatti. I'll come back to it. I wanted to pull up a couple more screens and show some of the updates. Let's jump into what you wanted to tell us with your first project. Speaking of Solana, since we're
Yeah,
on it.
absolutely. Yeah, we'll start with Secret Sea Society. Smart Sea Society. I invested in another project that was called Secret Sea Society. So it confuses me sometimes, but this is one that I think is going to be super interesting throughout the year. It's more of a tool than a community, but they do have a pretty strong community. People that love to answer questions, provide good, solid information for people that are new to the space. But they have built out some incredible AI tools that I would love to kind of show off for you guys and kind of show you what other things they offer as well. Um,
Oh, are you sharing?
it says sharing. Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Okay, awesome, awesome. So basically, to access this site, you have to own one of their NFTs, which right now I believe is about 1.7 Solana, or about 27 bucks, 20,
No more.
34 bucks. Can't
Yeah,
do
there
math. Um,
you go.
but basically, you can go here and you can look at all of the different signals. So they have AI signals. This is based off of basically price movement. So if something started picking up in volume, some smarter wallets, people that have made more profit in the past, start accumulating or buying. it shows that here. So it also shows you a probability percentage of the call hitting. So we can see some of the AI signals that have been shared recently, and you can see these first 10. I mean, some of these are in crazy profit, and it shows when they were called, when the highest profit was, things like that. Some interesting statistics, and definitely valuable information if you're in the flipping NFT game. We also have Twitter signals, which this shows a different statistic. This shows the Twitter activity, mentions of the project, people within the project that are talking about it. So we can see some of that information as well. The price that it was called, the highest profit points, and then it also shows when that was. Now, say if I wanted to go into fruits and look at their inspect collection trends, I can also go in and see much more details within the nitty gritty of the project. Now, some of this is pretty slow right now. They are working on the back end to update because they've gotten a lot more traffic on the site in the last couple weeks. So you can see here, you can see the mentions, the social. Can you see that there? The blue line is like their social traction,
Yeah.
as well as their floor price, and then the listed number, all within the same chart, which is super valuable when you're trying to compare some of these different things there. So it's really, really interesting. And you can also compare to collections as well. So if I wanted to compare them to a DGOD, oh, that's not the right. You can do the comparison. It's not within this page. AI floor price predictor. So here you can also do predictions of floor prices. This is all AI based. So say I wanted to do, I was interested in buying a Utes before they bridged over to Polygon. I could go here and see this is their current floor price sitting at 126. And we can see kind of a sort of Animoca cloud forming with a predictive direction based on their history, as well as some of the other AI prediction stuff that they have going on in the background. I don't see this as being super, super valuable, but it's definitely cool to see that they have some of these tools built.
Yeah, it's interesting. Definitely.
It doesn't look like I'm logged in to my wallet. I want to show you guys this. Oh, making me buy another one. Once again, I apologize for the site being slow. I promise they're working on
it. Wait, isn't Solana known to be slow anyway?
Hey. Fire Dancer is going to be game changing. Fire Dancer is going to be game changing. That's all I will say. That word, Fire
which
Dancer.
Answer? Fire Dancer?
Fire Dancer.
What is that? Is that a Solana update?
It's basically overhauling the entire chain, which is going to be super exciting. It doesn't look like this one's wanting to go for me, but I'll show you guys. Right, I guess I showed pretty much most of what we have here. The scalp signals, all it does is basically shows you when there's a good opportunity. Like say there's been a really steady floor price for a while, and we see like somebody lists like 20 under the floor, you get that notification. You can set that up within Discord so it notifies you on specific projects. So that's pretty cool too. But yeah, there's definitely some valuable information here, and for only $37 to have access to all this information for all the collections on Solana and all of the things that they're planning in 2023 as well, things that they haven't fully announced yet. It's gonna be super cool. So one of the ones that I am super bullish on for the price that it's at the moment.
All right, that's awesome. Exciting. I'm looking forward to an update on Solana. Just make it faster.
Yeah, me too. They say it's going to be done by the end of the year, so they've already gotten a big chunk of it done, and it's on testnet, and it's getting tested right now. So
Is Phantom's still the leading or the preferred wallet for most.
Yes, and another thing too that I forgot to mention earlier when updating about Solana. So there is a test kit out right now for Phantom Wallet that is going to seamlessly integrate Ethereum and Polygon wallet within Phantom. So you, like just like how you can
Mm.
change your chain within your MetaMask, you're going to be able to do that for Ethereum and Polygon. And that's going to be the first Solana cross-chain wallet that's like that. Very exciting to see that actually release. I know there's been a lot of testing going on over the last month or so with that.
Yeah, and is it Solana or um, Phantom that you can integrate with Discord now or connect with Discord?
That's Solana. Yeah, that's Solana. Yes, sir.
All right, all right. If you ever have any questions about Solana,
Yeah, please bombard me. My Twitter handle's right here. So
find this guy, come to the show, come to our morning spaces, 9 a.m.
yes,
Eastern every
please.
morning. Get your Solana questions answered. And if you've got helium questions, we've got experts for that too. I don't
We
want to call them
do.
experts. I don't like using that word, but we've got people quite well familiar with the ecosystem, the technology, the 3Gs, the 5Gs, all the Gs.
All the G's.
All the Gs. Let me touch a little on Bugatti Group. I'll do a quick intro. Bugatti Group is a, yes, like the vehicle, but not the auto manufacturer. Bugatti Group out of Canada. They produce luggages, handbags, accessories, fashion. Quite interesting. They got into the Web3 space started building about a year ago, been planning for about 2 years. We had the honor and pleasure to help them with their collection and get them on their way. And they've been running strong since. They sold out their collection of 1940 Genesis assets, which give you a lot of priority, a lot of benefits, a lot of utility. In fact, there's so much utility, the list goes on, and you already forget about where did we start. It does give you 55% off of their merchandise, but let me share some screens so people can get an idea. And so, like, where are we? Bugatti Group. This is their retail store, their Web2 retail store, which is in the process of being integrated into Web3 so that you can use your digital assets as a pass to access all their merchandise and receive 55% off. Not only that, the collection is packed with utility. They're well known for their luggage. They recently acquired a factory out of Brazil that they're moving to Toronto, I believe, or no, Montreal. And that factory manufactures one-of-one pieces, luggage pieces. And so Bugatti, for those of you familiar, those of you not, Bugatti for the last several months has been making a lot of noise on social media, offering customized bags with any NFT that you have IP rights to, that you have the rights to print and or distribute. And why I say distribute, because there's a big play with their collection and their utilities where it allows you to stack multiple NFTs, 15 to be exact, that allows you to create a line of luggages or bags with Bugatti and your IP owned assets. And so they started off with the Bored Apes Club, but as of recently, they've partnered up with and here's their OpenSeas and what their NFTs look like. There's several different rarities. The bag that you see on the NFT may be a claimable piece. All of them, 100% of them, have a claimable piece you can obtain for having the Genesis collection. Claiming, I believe, starts in about a week or two. Next weekend, they're having a blending event where you can blend because they're different rarities. Because there are 6 different rarities, with the common one being the most frequent. Obviously, you can take your common NFTs and blend up to a higher rarity, which unlocks additional utility. Where's your utilities on this page? Here. And so all of them start with quite a hefty utility list, including that 55% off of all their products, um, and $100 coupon off of a $250 purchase, just some of them. But every rarity that you go up with adds another utility, including more rare or higher valued claimables, physical claimables, or additional NFTs, or even free NFTs of their future collection. And one of the next collections that or collaborations that they did, it was actually quite big because, excuse me, they are one of their next drops that's supposed to happen based on their announcements. Pardon me. Was Rolling Stones, but I guess they got a little more popular than they expected. So they actually connected with Shiboshi's Club and the Shib token, and dropped yet another 299 NFTs, which current floor price, as you can see, is getting up there. That also gives you a claimable, and also gives you all the other utility that the Bugatti Group Genesis Collection gives you, but also gives you a discount off of any merchandise released by the Shiboshi's Club. And it's quite interesting how this worked out. Having the Bugatti Genesis NFT will give you access to all their future partner limited drops, including the coming up Rolling Stone. Public will now be able to buy those NFTs, and all of their NFTs will be tied to what they call a phygital play, where you have a physical claimable with their merchandise. And so, quite an interesting project to check out if you're not familiar with the Bugatti Group. They've been around for over 82 years at this point, and are making quite interesting plays in the space. They have partnered up with another company, Ism Toys. Ism Toys got a little 5 minutes of fame at NFT NYC. Ism Toys is ran by a father-son team, and they design 3D. They print 3D toys, quite interesting, and they've been printing a lot of 3D toys for a lot of the collections out there that have IP rights. And I guess doing a little plug for Ism Toys here, but they also did a 3D print out of Vitalik last year that they gifted him at an NFT NYC, and they were all over some of the headlines. So shout out to Ism Toys, Bugatti Group, and what they continue pushing through with Web3.
It's amazing to see some of these Web 2 companies figure out the way that they're going to do it, right? I think that that's awesome for them to, you know, find their own footing. It's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely. It's interesting, and I bet a lot of companies are watching just like everyone else, and working with a Bugatti Group. The team did not want to do what has been done already. They like and pride themselves of being innovators, and they truly did innovate in the space, and they continue doing so.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, do we want to transition to my other pick this evening?
Yeah. Let's hear a little more about. Is this another Solana project? I'm
It
curious.
is. This is, and they actually have a lot going on this week. It's a big week for them, so I'm definitely excited to share this with you guys. Not as much on the visual side. It's something, we're gonna have to wait and see for next week. I'm definitely gonna share an update with this one. So Rove World is going to be one of the premier onboarding and community managing ecosystems within Web3.
Huh.
So that's their little video that they have. It is launching tomorrow, January 20th. I am also going to share a bit about their website. So they have already partnered with Tommy Hilfiger to do a free claimable at one of his events this last year. Went super well. They took advantage of Cupcake Protocol, which is a super easy to use. I guess what's the term for it? All you had to do was walk up and scan the QR code on your phone, and you got access to this NFT within their hosted wallet. So that was super unique, super cool, and it onboarded a lot of people that are big within the fashion industry. But Rove wants to attack many more industries than just that. They want to be a community onboarding hub. So say there's a artist or a band that you enjoy, and they want to do a cool interactive drop for their fans. Now we also within Rove we host ticketing as well. So it allows you to basically go in and it's an all-in-one ecosystem for fans. You can go in, you can buy their ticket, you can buy, if you want to do a VIP pass, if you want to participate in some sort of merch that they're doing through their through their drop, you can do that as well. But what's very unique is that they're also basically creating a three-tiered um, event system. So there's the pre, the during, and then the post. So pre, you can buy a ticket to an event. Now say it's something like Bitcoin Miami, and there's an after party for Bitcoin Miami. You want to pay it's say $10 for a ticket to the after party. You buy that in March. The event is in July. You can then stake that NFT of that ticket 3 months, 4 months in advance, and you start to accumulate these Rove credits. And now think of these Rove credits as reward points or credit card or airline miles, credit card points. It's a way for you to redeem within that Rove ecosystem. So it's going to be super, super valuable to be early, show support to people and projects that you enjoy. And it's also going to be beneficial to you. So that's the pre. You can accumulate these credits, these points. The during. So you have this NFT staked, this NFT ticket staked. You can go in and you can do forget what it is. It's not RFID. It's something similar, some technology that basically proves that you are the owner. You're not just screenshotting it and using that QR code. They have some sort of system that they have set up, and I forget. Jason with their team is incredible. Their CEO at explaining some of these things. So that's the during, and then the post. So they can also see real statistics about who attended, the people that paid for VIP, the people that have paid to see multiple or go to multiple of their events in the past. So they can provide opportunities for those people to get early access to their next event, to receive some sort of thank you airdrop, some sort of reward system that allows you to build a community outside of just that physical event and create incentives for those people to attend those that particular creator, artist, whoever it is, their events in the future. So I think it's really a unique way of going about it. And they've partnered with Tommy Hilfiger to do a fashion event. They're also partnering with Lionsgate Studio for not just one drop, but with all of their future drops. So they're going to be doing a digital collectible that is going to go along with each of their movies. As far as I know, from here on out, they're doing a first drop that's coming up in the next month or so. We have very little information about it, but we're going to learn a lot more after this app release tomorrow about what that's going to entail. But apparently, there is some sort of connection to cryptocurrency within this movie, and they actually show the NFT that is going to be available for purchase in the movie. So you're going to be buying the same NFT that they bought in the movie, which is going to be really, really interesting and a cool way to kind of kick off this partnership with Lionsgate. So that's kind of what I wanted to share. Their floor price is like 3.8 Solana right now, which translates to about $70 or so. So it's a little chunk out of your pocket, but you're also becoming a Genesis member of this project, and you're going to get exclusive perks to all of these events in the future, and you're going to be a part of an exclusive VIP group in the Rove world. So it's definitely cool. I implore you to look into it a little bit and at least download the app when it launches tomorrow to kind of go in there and see what we're working with. I'm super eager to see kind of what that final product looks like, or at least their beta product is what I should say.
So their app comes out tomorrow as well?
Yep, their app is dropping tomorrow. We're getting more information about Lionsgate next week, as well as being able to stake our NFTs for those credits that I was talking about right when the app launches tomorrow. It's very, very cool. And they're also, so basically, it's a Web 2.5 platform, so you're able to purchase things with crypto as well as credit card very seamlessly in both facets. So that's another thing that I'm super excited to see how they execute it.
All right. Well, make sure to give us a reminder and, our Twitter space, 9 a.m. Eastern. Remind us, and then maybe maybe send a calendar invite so we don't miss this. Is it the how many units did you say they're selling? Or
So the NFT, so the Genesis NFT for Rove itself is already sold out. They already minted out. Those are selling. Those are trading at about $70 fair market value.
those are the ones that are okay. So the resale is what you said earlier. Okay, got it.
Yep. And
Got
so,
it.
and basically, every drop that is going to happen from here on out, you're going to be able to purchase within that app. It's going to be an all-in-one, super seamless ecosystem. As far as I'm aware, I'm definitely skeptical but excited because these guys, they have a lot of funding. They have a lot of talented people on their team, and they're also working with some of the biggest brands in the world that they can't share with us yet. So I'm excited to see what that actually translates to in Web3. You know, it might be like Burger King or something, but
Hey,
you know, partnerships are partnerships. We'll see.
no, they already have partners for Web3. They tried and they failed. I think Starbucks did it better. All right. Well, real quick, since I'll touch on Upland because that's I owe my diving further down the rabbit hole with NFTs to Upland, and I'll forever be a fan. Not only because of that, but because I like their platform. I'm also a Monopoly fan. I still play it. Well, I haven't played it in several years, come to think of it, but I've played it as an adult many of times. And Upland is those of you not familiar, property trading game that was built based on the monopoly principles, but it's on a global scale that uses real physical addresses to trade properties with that pay rent, and it can build houses and apartments on and factories and manufacture stuff and sell digital assets within the metaverse. And now they have cars and there's racing games coming, and it's and even first person shooter games coming. That might be insider info. I've already said too much, and I'm going to shut up now because nobody knows this yet. But needless to say, they just released Buenos Aires. It's Upland. Started off mainly in the U.S. and Buenos Aires was released this morning at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is kind of the time issue is the lack of my success with getting into Buenos Aires, but no fear. There's more neighborhoods to open. They only open up 4 or 5 neighborhoods, so that's all right. And so it was they had an interesting play. I happen to be this. If you're not familiar, this is a map of Upland in real time, and so I was in Texas when I decided I was going to fly to Buenos Aires. Upland, when they release new cities, often introduce ways to travel for free in one way or another. This time around, they had us travel through. So I had to go from Texas to Chicago. From Chicago, I took an international flight over to what was it? Doha. Doha. I didn't even know Doha was open. I just now see that they have one. It looks like one neighborhood only. I wonder if any properties are minted. I didn't see this before. Hang on, bear with me a second to get close enough here. Oh yeah, so there's property minted and there's still some properties available. I didn't realize they had a neighborhood open. I didn't see it when I was there with my free flight. And then so after flying to Doha, I could take a free flight to Buenos Aires. I think this is a new approach that they are maybe testing out. I don't know. I talked with some other players in the game. Nobody knew where Doha came from. Usually cities get announced when they get unlocked, and all of a sudden we can travel for free to Buenos Aires via Doha. So we took advantage of it because there's costs associated with travel, just like in real time. The time doesn't take as long. So it's only about an hour and 45 minutes from Chicago to Doha. But wish I could travel that far in IRL. But needless to say, I found myself all the way in Buenos Aires, and I was ready. And this morning I was excited, and I don't know what happened to my time and when I thought it was released, but it was 9 a.m. Pacific, and for some reason I thought it was 11. So at 11 o'clock, I'm like, okay, can I buy properties? Where's the property? Show me the properties. No properties. Up until then, I realized that I had done my math wrong. It's actually at noon, and by then I think I moved on to something else. I was doing some posts or something else with my the with my responsibilities. And at 2 o'clock, two something in the afternoon, when I was done with a bunch of goals, I realized, oh my god, I missed out. I missed out on Buenos Aires, and so I didn't score any properties in Buenos Aires, but. I'm gonna hang out here because, like I said, they only released a few neighborhoods, and there's there was only 17,000 properties that were available, with 30%, give or take, reserved for FSA. FSA is Fair Starting Act, which is reserved for newer players so that they can start fairly in the game and can mint new properties, so that all the whales or existing players don't mint out all the properties and then they're stuck not without property. That's a little side
That's
road
cool
that
that they do
was
that.
developed. But yeah, that was experience with Upland in the New City that was released today.
That's cool. I'm gonna have to get in there and see what's going on. I've never been like, I know about Upland. Like he's not my uncle. He's one of my mom's friends that I call my uncle. He's a huge Upland guy.
Oh
So
yeah,
yeah, I might have to connect you with him and you guys can talk a little bit.
definitely. Is he in Discord? Is he online? Is he on blockchains?
I don't know if he's in Discord. I would assume so if he's as big into it. Like, 'cause he was asking me about it over the holiday, and he was like, "You play you doing this crypto stuff? You play Upland?" I'm like, I mean, I know about it. It's not something I've spent much time doing, so I'll have
What's
to make that connection.
Find out his net worth. That's how Upland ranks you. I'm a director right now, working my way up to an executive. I need 10 million UPIX in net worth. I'm at 1.6, so I'm slowly working my way up there.
Sweet. Yeah, I'll have to shoot him a text and see what he says.
All right, all right.
Awesome.
What else we got going on? Ooh,
Is this what I think it is?
yeah, but I'm gonna do a quick reminder that nothing on the show is financial advice, and these opinions are just ours. And we're having fun, bringing some insight, trying to spread some education. Well, alert you when there's something that we know of that you need to watch out for. Keep in mind that rug pulls and scams continue to happen, not just in crypto, but in everyday life. I still get scam phone calls that tell me that, in fact, earlier today, oh my God, this is off the topic, but this. I love. I don't. I'm being sarcastic. I love when I get a call from somebody with a very thick accent. Sounds like it's. I don't know. I don't. I'm not trying to be judgmental, but very thick accent. They tell me that their name is Michael, and they ask me if I remember that recently I filled out a card for a giveaway or something, and I won. I'm like, I'm sorry, but you're full of it. I haven't filled out anything. We haven't left our houses for the past 2 years. All of a sudden, we're going out. Nobody's filling out little flyers like we used to back in the 90s to win a trip or a cruise or something. And why do they think that line is going to work? Sorry, I'm going on a tangent here for a second. But like,
Entering the giveaways for the cars at the mall. Come on,
do you
you entered
remember?
all the giveaways.
Do you remember when you filled out that card? No, I didn't fill out that card. Yes, and they'll argue with me. They're like, "Yes, you did. I have your info right here." I'm like, "No." Anyway,
Oh.
let's jump into and talk about what is really making your blood boil this week.
Yeah, so I mean, Rug Pull City. We're gonna end our shows with talking about rug pulls, the recent happenings in the space. Maybe some safety things. We're gonna find a multi-use for this little segment that we're doing. But I did want to talk a little bit about one of the projects that I shared with our NFT group within our companies, and it happened to, there was a rug that we were standing on, and it got pulled out, and you know I think there's a time and a place for things to be fun and memey, and then there's also a time and a place where things that are fun and memey make you a lot of money, but I don't think that those things always coexist. So one of the projects that I was sharing, they got delisted on OpenSea. I won't link anything, I won't do anything, but they were Pepe lands. They they're cute little ecosystems, little NFTs that you can see where your Pepe lives. And it was just a fun thing that I shared, but I think it was super interesting that we saw an IP infringement hammer come down on them, considering that the Pepes are a pretty famous meme. I thought that that was a super interesting development of things. What do you think about the situation, Ivan? I apologize for pulling you into the
Oh
fog.
no, no, but like I thought we resolved this. I thought you were going to talk about a different project, but
Oh,
it's okay. It's happy to
I
discuss this. I think um I don't know what like we don't know what the report was or what the IP infringement is. To
no.
your
So that's
point,
that's the way that
there's
OpenSea rules. That's the way that they do it. They don't have to tell us why they took things
right.
down.
No, I know, and like this isn't any different. I run into this on Wax all the time, where the marketplace that is leading and known for whitelisting collections, which means that they've done some sort of a verification, they often take that verification away. And so, like the question is, if you gave them a verification to begin with, what changed that you're taking it away? And sure, people do things, and you learn other things. And then the question is, did you do the right verification to begin with?
Right.
Um, and so then when someone claims infringement rights, before there's any, because that collection wasn't verified in any way, and anyone can put any images as NFTs up there. I don't know if there was. It could, in my opinion, it could be a number of different things. It could be a team member on the team that used to be part of the team that got upset and said, "Hey, this is mine. I came up with this part of it, and they don't have rights for it because I didn't give it to them in writing, and so I'm calling infringement IP rights on this project." And you know what? In general, marketplaces are not going to ask questions first and react later. They're going to immediately react in order to protect any sort of liability that they may be liable for at that moment once they know something potentially may be wrong. And so then they're going to slowly do research and find out and remove the layers to see, is this true, is this claim valid or not, and they can reinstate it. And another example I'll give is when a project that is can be labeled as a security within the US, OpenSea will quickly jump to align with any sort of US regulations and remove those collections. It doesn't really mean that the collection meant bad. And so in this case, because the community is still around, the developers seem to be active, and you found some evidence that they're trying to get this resolved and addressed with OpenSeas. I think it's too early to lay judgment on them and to necessarily call it a rug pull. So it's going to be interesting to see the development and see how this turns out. And so tune in over the next couple of weeks as we watch Pepperland and see what happens with them. We've also talked about him on a couple of different Twitter spaces. If you follow Evan, he's brought it up on some spaces, and we've mentioned it on a couple of ours on our morning announcements.
Yeah, I just wanted to touch on that with you, Ivan, just so we can kind of get it out there, so we can provide updates for it. So that's for sure. I
Absolutely,
wanted
thank
to,
you.
yeah, I also wanted to share a little bit, if I can present here real quick. So this is a project that I've been heavily involved with. They're VC backed. They have doxed founders, as well as they have some insane partner, or it did have some insane partnerships within the, excuse me, ecosystem. They're very creative, very innovative, and forward thinking. And you know, sometimes projects just don't work out, right? We see scenarios in which businesses that have good business plans, they just cannot seem to find their market share. They can't seem to do things that make themselves stand out. And I think that this is a great example of that. So this was one of the projects that I was super bullish on, and I still am to a degree, but obviously when the team decides that they're going to pull their funding and everything else, it can get very difficult for things to develop after that point. So what they did is they basically allowed us to upgrade our art via AI. There were a few different options you could do with that using their token, their drama token. So you could upgrade your art to graduate them. This was a project based on a high school scenario, different groups within high school, jock, nerd, uh, drama, and things like that, artist. And so we saw different sort of cliques be created within this project. We also saw that kind of division fizzle out as, you only have 5 people talking in a group here, you have 3 people talking here, 8 people talking here. When you divide a small number like that, it makes it seem that much more empty. And I think that that just kind of snowballed to the point where people saw the community as dead and began to sell off as they were doing some really cool stuff. So today we actually saw them refund the mint price for every NFT to all current holders of 6.66 Solana, as well as a farewell Twitter space where we got to talk about the graduation of Outcast Academy, and the founders got to kind of let us down easy and explain all of the details, be transparent with how things worked out. And it's I think it's a good example of how projects can end within NFTs, right? I mean, when you buy an NFT, you don't expect them to support that NFT for the next 40 years. At some point, there is a life cycle on a product, no matter what it is. And I think that this was a great example of what they could do to provide value by doing some cool things with art. These are, you can see the originals were hand drawn, sort of childish style art, but then we got to see these AI upgrades that transformed in them into some crazy different variations of that art. And I think that there's cool ways that you can provide free value to your holders like this to make them feel like they're not lost and forgotten. And I think that that is what I'm learning from this. I lost a little bit of money, but I ended up walking away learning a lot and knowing that I invested in the right people that truly cared about the community. So I think that's something cool that I just wanted to share with you guys on how a project can end without just pulling the rug out from under people.
Definitely, and we've seen it over and over the years that NFTs and digital collectibles have been around. You never know, and geez, it's not very exciting to leave on that note because you don't know how long someone's going to be around. The beauty of it is the silver lining on this is that there's always a glim of hope in every project. With every rug pull, every scam or fake, not so much fake collections because you can't necessarily build on that, especially if they copied someone else's art. But if everything was original and it was just a developer, where who was it? I think it's still up here. Crypto Daddy said, "Not a just part of the developer's learning process." Yeah, maybe they effed up and ran out of money and can't support and got to get a job and go flip burgers or serve drinks or something, whatever the case may be. To each their own, and we got to do what makes sense for us in life. And so that may pull some people away. I've seen plenty of projects where it's just been a one-man group, one developer that's trying to do it all, and that can be overwhelming and burning. And it's not that easy to sell NFT collections and to create a community, a following that supports your vision. And so, but the silver lining that I wanted to bring up is there have been cases where rugs or abandoned projects have been picked up by the community or somebody that has accumulated a big percentage, and they take over and then they onboard a team to help them put it back together, and they go a different route and create a new opportunity for that collection. So because the assets are digital, there's always that glim of hope that could happen. I know my some of my biggest losses in a collection that I've had are I still have that hope, and that was an exact example of a single developer out of Russia that had a really cool and unique approach and a gamification. And oh man, how I FOMO'd into some of those rare NFTs that yielded you. The problem was that there was some hefty rewards every week and month to those low numbered rarity NFTs and wasn't sustainable going back. Speaking, and we didn't talk much about gaming today, but play to earn games are not sustainable, and it all goes back to tokenomics and having a smart, well established overall big picture of what's it look like to the economy. You are creating an economy over, in a nutshell, and so it has to be very cautiously put together.
Yeah, it's hard enough to build some of these Web 2 economies that we've seen in games, let alone trying to build it with real money and people being able to bring in external funds or cash out. That it's incredibly difficult to make it make sense for play to earn games. But we've seen it succeed before, at least temporarily, and hopefully we'll see people learn from their mistakes and people collaborate to create cool things. And I think that that's really what it's about. Another thing I wanted to mention, so you're talking a little bit about derugs. Some of the biggest projects on Solana are derugs, where people basically took a dead project that went to zero and brought it back to life. Jelly Rascals on Solana is an insane example of that. They went from a less than one Solana floor, and right now, what, they're like 150 Solana. They came back and now they are one of the top projects. So you're right, it is possible and it does happen, but that glimmer of hope is what keeps some of these degens alive in Web3.
I'm gonna shamelessly plug in there about the uh, Lonely Frog Lambo Club. I
Lonely
think that
Frog
was
Lambo Club.
abandoned. But speaking of Pepe, we're big fans, a lot of us at the ACA and Start Some Funds, and so yeah. And on that note, I'll do another plug in here. I would like to remind and welcome everyone to check out AmericanCryptoAcademy.org and our founding members Mint collection that has packed some utility in there. We are currently minting it. It does provide you with a lifetime premium access to the American Crypto Academy, which will be our MVPs launching here in the next 30 to less than 60 days, probably 45 days. But the American Crypto Academy, for those of you not familiar, will provide education, blockchain, and cryptocurrency education to any and O, including professional certification with accreditation and continuing education hours that can be used depending on your profession. We're going to several different industries. So by all means, check out mint at AmericanCryptoAcademy.org. It does give you lifetime premium access, and it does give you 10 basic memberships to share with friends and family. A lot of this education we also want to take to Washington in order to provide that same education to our lawmakers so that as they're passing regulation, which we're all welcoming for the most part because it will continue driving adoption. I know there's many folks out there that are not in support of regulation, but after all, we are in the U.S. and regulation is part of what protects the public's interest. And so there's some need of that to provide guidance to the bigger companies that are out there that want to enter the space but are being cautious. And so we want to reach them directly in addition to sharing our education with everyone. So check out mint at AmericanCryptoAcademy.org and mint your lifetime pass.
Yes, sir.
All right, all right. Well, this is I know we wanted to finish with a giveaway, and I'm gonna do it a little bit different than necessarily planned or done traditionally. As soon as I can figure out my screen that's maximizing on me and blocking everything, and why it's doing that. But so my thought was, this is our very first episode, and I'd like to open the opportunity for more of you to potentially score and learn crypto NFT from the American Crypto Academy, because you have premium access to the platform in addition to 10 to give away. And so we will be uploading this first episode on YouTube here in the next 24 to 48 hours. And my challenge will be the first person to follow us on Twitter, share the video, and tag us by sharing what you liked about the video. We'll reach out and hook you up with a Learn Crypto NFT from the American Crypto Academy.
It's a pretty easy way to get it, guys. Don't miss out.
I think it also makes it a little interesting. Lets
See
you
who's
find
watching
our
it.
YouTube channel and tweet at us, tagging us by sharing the video on your Twitter profile, and we'll reach out. And we'll then share on Twitter who that was. It'd be curious to see who reaches out first. Let's go.
All right.
Evan, before we call it a night, any departing words for our audience?
No, I don't think so. You know, there's going to be lots of opportunities within NFTs. Make sure that you take your time. You earned your money. Do your research. That's all I ask. I know Ivan and I both have been burned on things that we jumped in way too quickly on. So that's my best advice. It's not advice. Is take your time and do your research.
Always. It's the number one way I've been burned is by jumping into it because of FOMO and not taking a step back to analyze the bigger picture. So always do that research. Protect
That's right.
yourself and your assets.
That's right.
And on that note, I'll bid everyone a farewell. Have a great weekend. Join us next Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern. We'll do this all over again with some smart assets. Signing off here. Right? This is Ivan. And we've got.
This is Ivan.
There we go. Cheers.